Hey guys, and welcome back to my Let's Play of LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, Part 70! 70! Officially in number of parts, we've overtaken Sonic Heroes. Actually, the last part overtook Sonic Heroes, but never mind. We're here, Part 70, complete with the epic noises that are whatever next door are watching in the background. Why must they listen to that so loudly every time? What kind of TV have they got in there? Anyway, welcome to Return of the Jedi. So for once, I actually went and practiced these levels before checking them out. And I hate that jump. So I am doing all of this over muscle memory for the most part. There are still a couple of times I get lost, but for the most part, we get through this pretty fine, especially Jabba's palace. Half of this video really is speed or showdown, and that's just because I'm playing the level normally. That's really the only reason that level takes a while. The rest of it, we get through this pretty quickly. I mean, Boba Fett's gun can still take these things out with half the time, and that is great. So again, yeah, I'm going to be using Boba Fett and a ghost character throughout all the on-foot levels. Which is 5 out of 6 of them. Well, sort of. If Speed or Showdown counts as an on-foot level. I mean, it kind of does. It kind of does. You start off on foot, you end on foot, you have some on-foot bits in between. But for the most part, it's a vehicle level. It's like a precursor to LEGO Star Wars 3's vehicle levels, where you switch between the two. I could. I don't know why I don't just switch characters. Yeah, as in like going through transform Obi-Wan into Boba Fett rather than switch, rather than hit the C button. So there's one hiding in there. Clearly, as you very clearly saw before I said that. Although now I switch characters. Sadly, I would have thought Bib Fortuna could have used that. And I think I did very briefly mention it before, because I think it automatically gives you, like, Bib Fortuna, the Gamorrean Guard, the Palace Guard, whatever it is, whenever you go into this level. Bib Fortuna can punch. That is all. That's all he does, he just punches. Punches, he has like a single jump, and you know, he's still better than Chancellor Palpatine, who doesn't do anything. And I don't think Boss Nass can do anything either. I don't even think he punches. I think he literally just he doesn't do anything. He can jump and that is it. But punching isn't particularly useful. I mean, it's basically no different than the slapping, I guess. Maybe. And yet, somehow, still more useful than Mario's punches in Super Mario 64. It really is. That punching really is so pointless. I mean, I do use it, but most of the time I just jump on an enemy. Can't jump on enemies here, so I have to punch them. I really don't know why the AI follows you in here, but it does. You can destroy these, yeah, like that. You can destroy these things with the Ewok catapults, but it doesn't really want to work a lot of the time. I think generally it's just I'm missing, it's going over it. So in the end, since the gun doesn't work, then will detonate yourself and the explosion will end up destroying whatever it is. Is it a bed? I think they're supposed to be like prison cells. And somehow you can go underneath it. You can go underneath that. Don't know why. Yeah, you can't destroy whatever these spider things are. The only way you can get rid of them is when you get to the room where you first meet Luke. And you have like that pit that you can open up with a dark side character that serves absolutely no purpose. You can ride the spider thing and it will fall into the gap. I think they can do it automatically by themselves. I don't know what they are. I don't recall seeing them in the film unless it's some kind of background image. I just call it the spider thing. It's only got half the legs, but I just call it the spider thing. Go, Ewok, go. So at this point in time, I have officially finished the game. We are at 100%. The last thing I had to do was... Well, after I recorded all this, I went and did Empire Strikes Back Super Story, and then all that was left was Return of the Jedi. That gonk droid is stuck in purgatory. But and I've gone and done that. So it's officially done. We've got this part and one more challenge mode video, 2 parts of the bounty hunter missions, and then we got like a little extra video. All I got to do now is just record the rest of that little extra video, which really is mostly just going to be me showing off a few extra things, which would include getting some footage from LEGO Star Wars 1 and 2, which is really all I have left to do. I've got all the extra stuff recorded for the complete saga. It's just 1 and 2 that I need to do. Hopefully 2 doesn't freeze on me, but it probably will. I really think I need to get a new copy of that. LEGO Star Wars 1 works perfectly fine. 2, I'll probably just try and get it on GameCube. I don't know, I know it's stupid. I have this, and I just think this is the definitive way to play the game. But I have it now, and I kind of feel like it's mandatory that I do have it. Even though I don't own the handheld versions. Maybe someday, but I'm in absolutely no rush. The DS version of LEGO Star Wars 2 apparently isn't very good. The GBA versions aren't very good. I'm not sure about LEGO Star Wars 1, but the GBA version of LEGO Star Wars 2 is apparently very glitchy. It looked pretty horrible to watch on YouTube. I mean, that may have partially just been the poor video quality, I don't know. I very briefly took a look, and yeah, they weren't that impressive. Yeah, that's where I got lost looking for that one. And then the last one is in the Rancor pit. I can't remember if LEGO Star Wars 1 had a DS port. I don't think it did. The DS was over a year old by that point, so it may have done, but I don't think it did. I can't remember about the complete saga. I want to say this did have a did it have a DS version? Oh, I don't know. LEGO Star Wars 3 that had a nothing that had a DS and a 3DS version. Or did it? It had a PSP version, but I imagine that's probably not too different. Maybe. I don't know. There's a 3DS version. I hear that one has a habit of freezing. I imagine The Force Awakens has some sort of Vita and 3DS port. I don't know. The Vita is probably exactly the same as the console version, but the 3DS is probably different. If such a version exists, which being a LEGO game, it probably does. Because we have to have a LEGO game released on every single console that is around at the time. So whatever the next LEGO game is, expect to see it available on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, PlayStation Vita, Nintendo 3DS. I think that's everything. Or maybe the Google Strada. Not Strada. Stadia, that's it. The Google Stadia. Whatever that thing is supposed to be. I didn't watch the presentation. I haven't looked up anything about it. I just thought, oh look, it's another console that I probably won't buy. Oh look, it's got a controller that looks just like the Switch's Pro controller with the analog sticks of the DualShock. And these guys just run right off the edge. Except for him. He's got the idea. It sort of slides him back up. Look, he's defying gravity there. He's sliding upwards. How do you slide upwards? Anyway, you can skip most of this using Boba Fett's jetpack. I don't know what exactly their intention was for this level. This may explain the ending section, which we'll get to at the end, obviously. But, yeah, there are blue canisters on both sides of this thing. The thing is that the blue canisters on the other side, we saw that one at the start, and the other one is located right at the end. But, you know, if you don't know where these things are, you're going to be looking for them. You're going to spend most of the time just looking for them. So I don't know what their actual intention was with this. But it is possible to do. You're not going to have much time left, but it is possible to go around both sides, look everywhere, And you also have time left to collect everything. Because that's what happened to me when I did the practice. Thankfully this time I didn't have to worry about that. Oh, this is all so much easier when you don't have to worry about them shooting you all the time. Sadly, that was still a thing in Super Story. But it's official now, it all says 100%. I'm guessing that piece of music is original to the game. I didn't even think this game had original music. Well, I mean, there's the certain remixes, so maybe there is. We have a few remixes here and there. Of course, we have our good one. Boing, boing, and that's it. I think there's like some sort of remix to the Imperial March in the game somewhere. Screw you, turret thing. I have thermal detonators. I could go around killing all the enemies, but I just want to get this over with. To ignore them. I don't know why I just picked Yoda because I want to use all 3 ghosts. Yoda, I do not like him just because he's slower and it makes him stiff. And he puts his lightsaber away on random times. Like sometimes, I mean, when you're building stuff, they always put their weapons away. Okay, but there are times where I can jump into the air, and Yoda will land with the lightsaber out, and Yoda will still land with his lightsaber out, as he normally does, as any lightsaber character does. But sometimes he puts the lightsaber away, and I don't know why he does that. He's the only Jedi character that does that. And none of the others do it, so I don't know why he does it. And of course he's just slower. Where is the flippy, jumpy Yoda that I'll probably show off when I get to that little bit of Lego Star Wars 1, and you can see just how different Yoda is. Combat-wise, he's exactly the same. But he doesn't use his walking stick when jumping. He still uses it when he's walking normally. But instead, you jump in the air with your lightsaber when your lightsaber is away, and Yoda just hops into that little hover chair thing that we very briefly see him in, I think it's Attack of the Clones, that we literally only see for a few seconds, but it's the main way he moves around in that game. If you switch characters, so Yoda's controlled by the AI, or even if he's just a random character roaming around in the hub world, yeah, that's what he does. In 2 in the Complete Saga, he always has the lightsaber out to make sure that he is moving quickly. In Lego Star Wars 1, he tends to put the lightsaber away, but he then immediately gets into the hover chair. By default, that's what he does. If it's just the AI in the hub world, like he isn't your partner character, it varies. Sometimes he'll have the hover chair, other times he's just jumping around with the lightsaber. I think it depends whether or not he's actually just engaged in combat or not. Because the characters will fight each other when you're going around the hub world. In Lego Star Wars 1, if you're inside the diner, nobody does anything. You can still kill everybody, but nobody does anything. And this is what I was talking about. I guess because they thought you may take too long in the bottom area, like going around the ship, both sides, they thought that might take a while. So let's just be really generous here, and just have 2 of them right next to each other, and then have this one up here. That's all you have to do, and Yoda didn't jump off the edge. He still screams to his death, even though he's already dead. Weird. Yeah, you can attack anybody all you want inside Dexter's diner, but nobody does anything. If you go outside, they start attacking each other. Like the good characters will always begin to attack the dark characters. Usually they ignore you, but every now and then they do come after you. In Lego Star Wars 2, it's not quite like that. Generally, nobody does anything if they're inside Mos Eisley Cantina, but if you do something that ends up killing someone, everybody gets their guns out and begins attacking each other. Usually, it's not actually the other characters that are the problem. It's generally just it's the Star Wars fans. It's a wretched hive of scum and villainy. You have a bunch of Star Wars fans that are inside the diner as well as the playable characters, and they are usually the ones that keep attacking you. You might have like a Sith Lord or a droid or a Stormtrooper. They'll attack you at some point. Unless you are one of them, in which case it'll be the good guys that attack you instead. But generally, they may attack you for a bit, but they do ignore you after a while. It's the AI, it's the other characters, the Star Wars fans, that will then begin to that keep attacking you. And very often, the only way of stopping that is to kill them. By which point, another playable character has come up, and Boba Fett was walking in the air. Then another playable character will come up, and they'll begin to attack you again, and the cycle sort of just repeats itself. Guys, it's right there. Just let me reach out and touch it. You are given 15 minutes for this level. Not a problem. You'll have plenty of time left. The 10 minutes there would be quite tight. I don't know, maybe they can meet in the middle and give you 12.5 minutes. Yeah, so getting the blue mini kits here is incredibly easy to do, because unless you accidentally hit the thing like that, in which case you'll get stuck. So let's try turning round, and then turning round again, and you can get it that time. Again, complete Saga. Why are the trees now invincible? Like, you have to physically ram the trees to destroy it. In LEGO Star Wars 2, all you had to do was shoot them. Like there, clearly, my blasters were going right through that tree, and nothing happens. You can only destroy them by ramming into them, but that also means you're going to get hurt unless you have invincibility on. What is the point? Because that's how you're going to get the true Jedi in this level. If you want that true Jedi the first time round, that's what you're going to have to do. Why are the trees suddenly invincible? But I think in LEGO Star Wars 2, you could still ram the trees, but they still hurt you as they do here. And it still blows them up here when you ram into them, but you could at least shoot them. And I'm pretty sure my blasters are no bigger than the ones coming out of the ATST. That should be destroying that shield generating thing. I think I backtracked to make sure I didn't miss anything, but we're fine. Not every one of these can be obtained when you're going through the speeder area. Some of them are in the little battle arenas that you have in the middle. Some of them you can still get on the speeder, but others you do have to wait until you physically up a bit. Which is what's going to happen with these last two. Because the very last one is, it's actually in the same area as the power brick. And just when you're at the bottom of that, whatever it is that the AT-AT is around that you destroy and then reappears at the beginning cutscene 2 levels later. It's still there. I still don't get that. Why is it? I mean, that place never even gets destroyed in Lego in the movie. So why did we destroy it here only for it to show up again 2 levels later? Well, technically 1 level later, because it's at the end of this level and then the beginning of Jedi Destiny. That's essentially 1 level. It's just the battle of... By the power of the Battle of Endor, that thing comes back. It's not even destroyed in the game. It's not even destroyed in the film. Luke and Leia are separated at this point. It all happens in a funny order here. For that, in fact, it just doesn't get destroyed. It's as simple as that. Yeah, it's like Leia doesn't meet the Ewoks in the game. She's just captured along with everybody else. You gotta make everything 2-player, so you can have fun together. Sharing is caring, children. And enough of that. I do have the hardest time aiming for these guys. I mean, when you're going around a turn like this, it's pretty much impossible. You need to wait until you're going straight, but that's hard to do when there's so many obstacles. You do eventually get them. And when they do decide on the occasions that they are going to flip over and go behind you, you could still slightly aim upwards when that's happening, and that you can get quite a few hits on them when they do that. Not then though. I didn't do it then. And they still go slow when like they're recovering from it, so that's a good time to shoot them. Unfortunately, they do it so rarely, it doesn't mean anything. You probably could get this one with a speeder. And even though Boba Fett's rockets could destroy this thing when we were going through it in challenge mode, weirdly the thermal detonators don't do anything. Apparently the rocket is more powerful. Unfortunately it's an extra, so I can't use it. So instead we have to do this the long way. Just build the ATST. The ATST. Yep, I did get that right. Get up here, thank you. And then just try and beat the stormtroopers to it. Luckily, you're a ghost. Well, potentially. You might not be a ghost. I do very briefly, I will be in the last part, very briefly showcasing the additional, like, the creating characters. It was never something I really experimented with, because I think in LEGO Star Wars 2, I could be wrong, but I don't think you can really do much with it. It's just a combination of characters. I can never do anything with it, but maybe I just didn't try hard enough. But I can never really do anything with the little custom characters. But in the complete saga, for definite, and I didn't know about this until I was actually recording it, you actually get all of their powers. That you can combine abilities. They are absolutely, well, I wouldn't say they're absolutely broken, but they can really do just about everything. I had no idea what characters I was putting together, because I don't recognize all of the. I think I gave it like I give him like a skiff guard face, and that's about it. But I think I give him like black hands, so that technically counts as a Sith Lord. Weirdly, even though Darth Vader is the only one to have black hands. No, Darth Maul has them as well, but it means I have the electricity, the Force lightning, like Count Dooku and the Emperor. I don't know what character I had. I must have had some character thing. I don't know if it was the body, if it was the belt. I don't know what it was, but I had some sort of bounty hunter because I could throw thermal detonators. So I could do quite a lot. It gives you just about everything. You have a lightsaber. You have a thermal detonator. You have, well, this and that and this and that. You do have access to a lot of things. I mean, it's not too broken. You can't get like a lightsaber and a blaster. It's one or the other. But of course, this game also has the extras which break it so much anyway. All you're doing is making something extremely broken, even more broken. It's like It's like if you're playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles. You have hypersonic, and then you get the electric shield, so all of the rings come towards you. As long as you don't fall into a pit or get crushed, you have officially broken the level. Because you're hypersonic, who can draw in rings. Okay, one last stormtrooper. That's what I mean. He just hovers in the air for some reason. Then we can go and do this. Some sort of experiment. Can thermal detonators blow these things up? And the answer is yes. I don't know if it means you have to be Django or Boba because they're the only ones with a jetpack. You probably do. I don't know if any of the other characters will be able to reach. You do get quite a lot of bounty hunters in this game. You have to unlock all of them, and well, all of the Lego Star Wars 2, all of the original trilogy bounty hunters are who you need to gain access to the bounty hunter missions. I imagine anyway. I wouldn't have thought the others would have counted. I could be wrong, but I imagine you just need all of them. Because you can't simply just unlock the characters through bounty hunter missions. Like, you physically need to have them in your possession. You physically need to have them available. So that's Boba Fett, Greedo, then the ones I'm not sure how you pronounce their names, is Bosk, the lizard guy, IG-88, like the tall robot, the robot with the insect head, it's like 4 LOM or 4 LOM, whatever he is. And then, is it Danger? I don't know. Not Danger. That just sounds like danger. But I know it's like Danger. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. Basically, it's all the bounty hunters that appear very briefly in Empire Strikes Back and Greedo. That's basically who it is. And it immediately means that they have more screen time than they ever do in Empire Strikes Back. That's it. That's our last one. We did it. Well, not quite. There's still one more part. What am I saying? Alright, so that's the first half of Return of the Jedi. So, next up we have the Battle of Endor, Jedi Destiny, and Into the Death Star. I have to say, challenge mode on Into the Death Star. Whose idea was it to have the blue mini kits in the fire chase section? Because they should be fired, if they haven't already. We'll see that next time.